Good morning, everybody. This is Chef Tig. You can also call me Noah. Hope you're having a great day. Today on the show, we are on episode 12. I do apologize for not having a show on Friday. We kind of had some stuff going on, but we're back. We're good. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of food today. We're going to be doing some beet hummus. Saw some in a restaurant and wanted to try and do my own version. So that's, can do that. Instead of our flatbreads today to go with that, we're going to show you how to make crostinis out of pre-done baguettes. We're going to do fried rice with our leftover rice from the other day. We're going to play with some jarlic, jarred garlic. We're going to play with this a little bit, see what we can come up with if there's a way we can roast it, make it all nice and roasty toasty. And then we're going to do some brown butter chocolate chip cookies. So really excited for today. I got my coffee, water heating up. We're going to start off by showing you how I do my coffee every day. Usually I have it and it's just ready to pour. You'll pardon the suboptimal mess here. I've just been getting everything out and ready. So we use a French press here in the house. It's kind of an optimal / suboptimal way to do your coffee. It's great for doing small portions. We used to have a full coffee pot that we used and set a timer on every morning, and it broke. It was about 14 or 15 years old, and one day it just stopped heating the water and wouldn't brew the coffee. So we decided not to replace that. We got some French press stuff. We have an electric kettle we use, and we got a grinder on the Buy Nothing group, and so we've nice coffee grinder and some hot water, and I'll show you how I do this. Some secret ingredients in my coffee. I'll show you the coffee we use in a second here. Yeah, your cheapo coffee pots can last a long time, and this was a nice one. This was a one that you set it up, put the water in it. It would grind the coffee fresh every morning, grind it, and then it had a reusable filter. It was great. I mean, I love that thing for the bits. It just stopped working one day, unfortunately. I've already ground my coffee. We have a grinder behind the camera, and puts it into this little catch container, and we just pour our coffee. I set it for about 3 cups of coffee. There's my water beeping. Our electric kettle here has options. It's a nice one. It's not just a straight boil. It's got options for different temperatures. We go to about 200 degrees for our French press here. We pour the water in, and then I add 2 things to my coffee on most mornings. We add a little bit of cinnamon. Come on, there we go. About maybe a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of cinnamon, and then we use like a half teaspoon of vanilla. And for French press, you always want a kind of a coarse grind. That way, when you're pressing it through, it doesn't push right through the filter. Give it a little stir. 4 minutes, and our coffee will be good. We pop the top on there. I'm going to set a 4-minute timer. I'm going to hand the electric kettle to Joy, who's standing waiting very impatiently for her coffee. Love you to bits. 4-minute timer on on the thing, and we'll get that going in a minute. So you may have also noticed there is a pink box on my counter here. This is a box from Mr. D's Donuts in Kansas City. So hey Rosaliz, what's going on? We have started partnering. We're trying to partner with a lot of food waste reducing companies here on the show, and we're going to be talking about a few of these coming up. This is from a company called Too Good To Go. They have a website, and about roughly every midday to evening, they put up mystery boxes that you can buy from different companies. The mystery boxes will tell you what company they're from, and then you put in for them, and they'll tell you the what you have to pay for it, and they tell you the approximate value of that product. So for these Mr. D's donuts, we got about a dozen donuts for about $4.
$4.99, and with the Too Good To Go, it actually started in Norway, and it's been a big thing in Europe. It's only just now coming over to the U.S. And when I tell you, in the last year since I've been in Kansas City, it went from literally just being Whole Foods, I think you could get, and maybe IKEA, their bags, to donut shops. We got last night we got a tea and a tongulu combination that we unfortunately forgot to take a picture of, but when I say the tongulu, it was really good.
For those of you who don't know what tongulu is it's fresh fruit that you put on a big long skewer and coat in crisp, not quite caramel, but sugar that's what would be called a hardball stage. And so you get the sugar melting on the stove, get your skewer of fruit, and you dip it in, and then you cool it and either refrigerate it, or you can do a bunch of other stuff with it. This was refrigerated. It was a stack of Hey Chronic. It was a stack of mandarin orange slices that had been dipped. We forgot to take a picture of it because it was so good. We just had to dive in.
It was crunchy and hard on the outside, but then the minute you bit into the mandarin oranges, it was juicy because they were fresh mandarin oranges, not the canned kind, which was really important. We also, on Thursday night, were able to get a cake. On Friday, it isn't. Would you like me to go get it? But it was I'll bring what was left of it, but we ended up getting it on Friday afternoon, actually. We bought it on Thursday. Usually you pick it up the next day, and there's a window to pick it up. And what the company does is, and the reason I know a lot more about it, I haven't really given the write-up yet, so apologies. But we do, it's things that the company, the restaurant's going to throw out. And so it's gonna be food waste, obviously. So what they can do is they sell it at a ridiculously cheap discount, and then you just go pick it up within the hours that it tells you to. For example, I've got, I think, 3 today to pick up that you'll see on Wednesday's show. One is at Whole Foods. I was able to get a bakery bag for $5.99, $6.99, I think, for $25 worth of bakery items. So like breads and pastries and things from Whole Foods. We also have some cookies coming from, I believe it's called Sugar Rush. And so that may be interesting. And then there's also a lot of times grocery stores will do something similar where they will, there's a Mediterranean grocery store nearby here that does it, and things like that. And your area, this is around the world that this company is. So if you're not in the US, it's definitely something you can still participate with. We're working to become an ambassador of this program because it really dovetails nicely with our mission here with Suboptimal Cooking. Not only are we looking to cook with what you have, but being able to rescue food at a discount. There's also another, if you want to talk about
so we're looking into, and we've gotten our first box. We're getting our first box on Wednesday from Imperfect Foods. There's a couple different companies. I think they may be the same parent company now. I'm still looking into this. For those of you who are not familiar, Imperfect Foods is basically a company that takes food, mainly produce and grains that are somehow problematic, and quote unquote problematic, I should say.
What he means by problematic is foods that maybe aren't as beautiful as things that you would find in the grocery store, but they're perfectly edible. And those that are rescued, if you want to show the cake real quick.
So this is we have a little chunk taken out of it, but we did get this cake from a local bakery. This was like a, I don't know, $16 cake or something that they were selling, that they gave us for about $4 because they had made too many of them. And it's a little shamrock cake for St. Patty's Day, and it's tasty. We tasted it. It's a tasty little cake.
The icing changed my tongue for
the icing does change the color of your tongue very nicely.
There was a story talking about icing that. Let me share that.
Not right now.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that later. But with Improper Foods, they sell it at Imperfect Foods. Sorry. Wow. There's a big discount that you get by participating with it. There's no cost to do it month by or week by week, rather.
Beyond the cost of the food.
Beyond the cost of the food. So it's like one of those companies where you're not like buying in and then like you just lose the money if you don't participate that week, which I think is really cool. We actually have our first order coming in Wednesday after stream, so we'll be able to unbox that on Friday or show it off on Friday on what we got. It is very much a, it's like produce that's like on the big side, on the small side, slightly blemished. There was a packaging error. It's upcycled, and what that means is upcycled is where, like, say a wheat was used to make beet or something like that. Then they grind up the leftovers after the beer's been made, and they make bread out of it or cookies out of it or something like that. So you're really pushing the food, and it really allows you to push to not waste food and to get everything out of it that you can. And the prices are. There are some things, in full disclosure, there are some things that you're going to be better off going to an Aldi or a local grocery store because you're not really getting any money off of it. But it does give you the opportunity to explore, other options, other brands, things like that. But then the produce, the fruits and veg that they have, we got, I have to look exactly what it was, but there was something that we got for like $1.99 for like 3, or it was potatoes.
We got
3 pounds
of russet potatoes for about $1.99.
Yeah, and so we'll be able to feature that on stream here in the next week or so. We've got just some spoilers here for next week. We showed Kitty a lot of it, and we actually have a promo code for chat that I'll post as soon as I get upstairs and into chat. That will allow anyone here with the Suboptimal Cooking stream to get $10 off their first box. And if you use our code, it will give $10 off to the show as well whenever we make our purchases. So your support actually goes to help the stream directly. So that's all my spiels with what we're doing. As always, if you guys find a company that you think kind of dovetails with what we're doing here with food sustainability, with limiting food waste, and with doing things that are a little trying to suboptimal, yeah, or even that just like benefit food shelters or whatnot. Let us know, either me or Chef.
And you can hit us up on the Discord.
Yeah.
So that's the spiel right now.
I'm gonna escape and let you do.
I appreciate it.
I'll see you guys in chat.
And the coffee is ready, guys. So I don't know if you saw me push that down after the fireworks going. We were doing our talkie. Got a little bit of hazelnut creamer in here. Going with that vanilla and cinnamon in it that I put into the coffee itself. Really good stuff. I really like adding a little bit. I've been adding cinnamon and vanilla to my coffee for a long time.
One more thing while you're playing coffee, and I promise I'm escaping.
Are you on?
Turned it on.
Okay.
I didn't realize how much of a difference the cinnamon and vanilla made first day Chef made me coffee, and I went, "Oh my god, this is like a barista made it." And he just kind of
it's almost like I worked as a barista too.
Exactly, right? But I was always really scared of the coffee press, the French press, so I was like, I don't know how to do it. It's really, really easy, and the quality of coffee you get is incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean,
one of the interesting things, and this is the barista side talking, one of the interesting things is coffee has essential oils in it, and those oils help improve the flavor of the coffee. When you're putting it through a drip, you don't get a lot of those things, or that they settle to the bottom, settle to the top, and they're not getting poured. With a French press, because it's coarsely ground, those essential oils, that coffee oil, comes nicely to the top, and pours from the top, so you get that kind of nice oiliness on your tongue, and it's really good.
I will say, so I think that answered one of Kitty's questions, was what kind of ground do you do, and that is a coarse ground.
Yeah, I did. I said that.
You don't want to use pre-ground coffee.
You can use pre-ground coffee. You are better off buying whole bean coffee. Pretty much anywhere you buy whole bean coffee, whether it's Costco, whether it's Aldi doesn't have it, but most generic grocery stores do. If you buy whole bean coffee, they typically have a coffee grinder there to grind your coffee the way you want it.
Got it.
So
it's actually good to know. And that's why we use.
Has a stick.
Laura has a stick outside, everybody. It's that time of year in the Midwest where storms knock down our tree limbs, and so she just finds toys.
But she has one that was like this big. I don't know.
I don't know. I just worked it. But yeah. It's super easy. It's super tasty, and really, you boil the water to 200 degrees, or just south of boiling.
Just south of boiling.
I have a electric kettle, that has different settings that I got for tea, but it ended up being.
How much? Do you remember how much that kettle was?
I splurged, so that kettle's probably $100. However, I know you can get them as cheap as $30 from like Hamilton Beach, or you can even go to your thrift stores. I know we love a thrift here, right? And I know I've seen the kettles at the thrift store for as cheap as $5 to $7. The reason mine was more expensive is because it has the different settings on it. You can also get gooseneck kettles, which are also really good for this. Gooseneck, for those unaware, those are the kettles that have the really thin spout that go from the bottom and like curve up, kind of like an S. And those are really good for this type of thing. I know my office had one that you could do it by the degree, and that was super fancy, and that's way too much. If there's any other questions about hot water kettles, whatnot, I'm gonna find a couple online, and I will actually post the one that we have. I'm gonna make an Amazon link so you guys can see some of the items that we use in our kitchen every day, and if you're interested in making a purchase off there, you'll know exactly what we're using on the all right, I'm out.
The puppy in. All right, folks. Now I got a whole bunch of stuff going on here on the counter. You saw me peeling some carrots. That's going to be for our fried rice. I'm just doing a little bit of what they call mise en place, getting your mess in place, getting yourself organized. I do want to show off a product that we get at Costco regularly. These are a great time saver. This is Beetology organic beets. These are pre-roasted, cooked, and they are peeled and ready to go. These are like such a time saver and such an effort saver. It's not even funny. So I'm gonna pop this container open. They come in 3 bags to a box. When Joy gets back on stream, she'll be able to get you the the pricing on those. I think it's like $8 a box for a whole lot of beets, which is really, really good. We make a couple different things with these. We make beet salad with this. Today we're going to be making and trying a red beet hummus. Before we get started with that, I do have the blender right here.
So, where do we go from here?
I do want to start a couple of our Jarlic experiments. Now, minced garlic in a jar is a great thing. It's got a little bit of a funk to it that comes from the preservatives that they use to kind of keep it going good. I'll turn the music down just a touch. Okay. Music is down a bit. And so what we're going to do here is we are going to take, I've got a pot that I put somewhere that's under my blender top. Okay. So I'm going to do garlic. I'm going to try and roasty toasty garlic 2 ways. So we're going to take a bunch of this and we are going to strain it out. First thing first, we don't want all the moisture in it. So I'm going to take the garlic. I'm going to pour a healthy amount into my strainer here for my 2 experiments. And I'm going to press it in the sink to try and get as much of this moisture out as I can. The moisture is the enemy of what we're trying to do. Rinse my hand off. As always, folks, I do wash my hands before stream. And I'm going to take a whole bunch of this garlic. Actually, I'm going to use this whole batch. We'll use more of it. So I've got all this garlic in the pot. And I do use the term jarred garlic. It's just become part of my nomenclature, the way I talk. And then we're going to take a little bit of a mix of extra virgin olive oil. Have enough here that we can. So we're going to be making like a kind of combination roasted garlic and garlic oil. A little bit of that olive oil for myself. I'll top this off with just a neutral oil. We use canola. Okay. So this is how I would normally do it. One of the 2 ways I would do garlic confit. I would normally be using whole garlic for this. We're going to try this with garlic. We're going to put this on the stoves, low and slow. Let that go for quite a while. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to see if we can't get a nice garlic confit out of that. Now, the thing that signaturizes a garlic confit is that it's nice, it's soft, it's spreadable. Also, you can do this with roasted garlic. I roasted some garlic off earlier today just because I felt like it. That's what I've got right here. Camera. And this we just put into a 350-degree oven with a little bit of oil on the bare cloves, wrapped in foil, and it just roasts and creates one of the most wonderful smells and in the world. What we're going to do is we're going to try that same thing with the garlic. Now it takes about 45 minutes to an hour with the whole garlic. I'm going to give it the same amount of time. We're going to see if we can't get a nice roasted garlic using the garlic. Again, tapping out a whole bunch into the strainer, pushing out all the water I can out of this. Okay, rinse my hand off. Here's our garlic right there. We are going to hit this with neutral oil, just so it'll roast. Bring this all up into a little pocket. Take it up like that, right into the oven. I got my oven preheated to 350, and we're going to go right in just like that. Let that go. Okay, that's our Jarlic experiment for the day. We're going to see how that comes out later in the stream. We'll wipe down, do a little sippy sip of the coffee. Get the coffee off of our working space onto my back counter. Going. Nice look. Little fluff ball. Okay. So. Command add, honey. Other way around. We got our garbanzo beans up next. Drain these out. I'm going to be making a fairly large batch of this, because I want some hummus. We're going to be taking a risk with this, because I've never made a beet hummus before. Yeah, we're going to do both cans. Go big or go home, right? Okay. Hi, Spelunky. All right. Our nice rinsed garbanzos going into our food processor blender. We're gonna do the food processor. We're gonna go ahead and add some salt and pepper. I now have a salt and 5 pepper mix I got from the Olive Tree here in Kansas City area, Overland Park. This is their sea salt and 5 pepper mix. I'm gonna add some of this to the container here. Right. We are also going to add our beets. Now I don't feel like staining my hands. Now what I will say about these beets is they work great. My gloves go. Where did I put my gloves? Chef Tig being suboptimal again. Okay, found them. My nice green gloves here. Hey Erica, how's it going? Yeah, hummus is really easy to make, and it's really tasty when you make it yourself. So I'm gonna got my gloves on, getting out my tahini, one of our pantry staples that we've talked about. Or if you want to do anything with sesame flavor in it, tahini is a great thing to keep in the house if you make your own hummus. I bought size XL gloves, and I should have bought size 2XL gloves, or something a little bit stretchier. These don't stretch very well. All right. Tahini in. Gonna be about solid quarter cup of tahini. I'm starting to run out of tahini I'm gonna give me 1 second, folks. I'm gonna write tahini on my board I keep over here. I keep a dry erase board for stream ideas and grocery needs, things like that. These are nitrile gloves that I got at where did I get these? Harbor Freight. Nitrile gloves can be very expensive if you buy them elsewhere. Harbor Freight has the best price on them, I found. They're not, you don't want to use these for medical purposes, but for food purposes, they're fine. I will say that they have gone up in price quite a bit. They were like $5.99 a box. They're now about $11 to $12 a box of 100. So it has gone up. All right, nice. So I'm gonna open these beets up and drain some of this juice off. There's not much juice here, but I'm gonna drain some of it off. And I am going, these are just beautiful. Look at these guys. Beautiful red beets, pre-roasted, ready to go. I'm gonna drop 2 of these suckers in. We'll see how that does. Ooh, they are bleeding on my counter. Lovely red beet juice. All right. I've got salt, tahini, beets, garbanzos. Let's get the rest of that olive oil we had in there in a second. I like pickled beets. Joy does not like pickled beets, but she does like fresh beets. So I'm just gonna pulse this up. So we're gonna get this going. Hold on. All right, we're gonna get this going. And we're gonna drizzle in our olive oil. And that should cause it to start blending up a little bit more, which it does. I'm going to finish off our olive oil. And this is not as brilliant a color as I wanted it just yet. This is not as brilliant a color as I wanted it just yet, so we'll be adding some more beets to this, I think. But let's get this blended. Ooh, that's loud. Ooh, that's loud. I don't want to call that ASMR, but... So, that is blending nicely. Of course, we don't have our secret ingredient in here yet, but we will get that in there in a minute. I am going to add, I think, 1 more beet to this. Grab a knife to just stab it in there. Cut it up a little bit before it blends in. I want this to be kind of a brilliant color. That's pretty impressive that you guys don't hear it when it's not going. I must have my gates on my microphone going really well. Okay. Scrape this down one more time. kind of a, not quite the color I thought it was going to be. Alright, let's get our secret ingredient here for our super smooth hummus. Ice. Ice is always our secret ingredient on hummus, and we're going to get a nice handful of it in there. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's a better color. Still not mixing in quite the way I want it to just yet. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a taste. Out of plastic spoons, meant to get plastic spoons. Alright. Nice smoothness. Nice texture right there on the hummus. Great color. It's kind of sweet. I like this. I like this a lot. Needs a little bit more salt and acid. I forgot acid. I forgot lemon juice. I completely forgot my lemon juice. I knew there was something missing. A little bit of lemon juice in there. About 3/4 of a lemon worth of lemon juice. Blend. The salt's not bad. I put salt in, I put the sea salt and 5-pepper mixture in there. So the salt content is not bad. It did not have any acid, so. That's almost perfect. I think it needs garlic. So I'm going to take some of this roasted garlic that I made earlier. And we're going to add a whole bunch of roasted garlic to this. It'll give it some more depth. This is kind of just, I'm going kind of off of just basics and experimentation today. I'm sorry, Kitty, what balances out? The beet, if you're asking the garlic and the beets, yes. Garlic and beets is a great combination. Surprisingly. Garlic is going to give it a certain richness that it's not otherwise going to have. This is super smooth. That is incredible. That is really, truly incredible. That is fantastic. I'm kind of blown away with how good that is. Okay, over on the stove, let's take a quick look here. We have our garlic boiling away. It's simmering, it's bubbling, doing what I want it to do. We're gonna get a wooden or metal spoon, and we're gonna give it a little stir so to make sure nothing's burning on the bottom. Okay, that's going. We're going to take our beet hummus and get it into a container. I keep a lot of these Glad disposable containers in the house. These black Glad disposable containers, you get them at Costco. They're not too expensive. If you lose them, it's fine. I'll show you how nice and smooth this looks in a second here, guys. Okay. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. It's nice, beautiful, smooth hummus. That pink color. I really can't get enough of this. It's got a rich, sweet... sweetness to it, with a little bit of the garlickiness. The roasted garlic is the way you want to go on this one. You wouldn't want to put fresh garlic in; it'd be too bitey. But the roasted garlic, with the sweetness of the roasted garlic, sweetness of the beets, really, really good way to go with this, in my opinion. Okay. But we need something to dip in it. I'm going to put this in the fridge. Chills. Veggies are great to dip in hummus, but, and as our flatbreads, we've done flatbreads on the show before. I want to show you how to make crostinis. I've got these take and bake French baguettes from Aldi. They're about $2 each. And what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you what a restaurant crostini looks like and how they make them, because they're going to take something similar to this. Either a fresh baguette or these take and bake baguettes work great. Cheese crisps, pita chips, all good options. But let's show you how to make crostinis, guys. I don't know if you can hear this. The oil is bubbling away there, and you can kind of hear it. Okay, let me get my bread knife out. Get this edge trimmed up nice and flat. Alright guys, so crostinis. You can do these really crunchy, you can do them semi-crisp. I'm going to do them semi-crisp, so we want to cut these about ½ inch thick. About ½ inch thick, like that. We need a sheet pan to put these on. Sheet pan out. And you can make a lot of these in a very short amount of time. Part of the reason restaurants love them. They are a high yield, low labor thing you can use with a dish. So I'm gonna fold my parchment here. I'm gonna buy something a little optimal soon, and that's gonna be some parchment sheets, because I waste so much parchment just sizing it down for my hands. And so we're gonna start cutting these kind of thick. I see that. Not sure how you pulled that off, but I like it. There were some spots I didn't like the look of on this baguette. I've had these for like 3 or 4 days, so I probably should have refrigerated them. There were a couple spots I didn't like, so I tossed them. The rest of the bread is perfectly fine. I opened this one up a few days ago and it was a little tough. Now, traditionally, restaurants don't like doing crostinis this thick. They want maximum yield. I like my crostinis to have a little bit of crunch, but have some nice softness to them, so I don't break my teeth on them. Which is why I cut mine this thick. And this is going to be, this is, again, guys, this is one of those things that's super easy to do. These go great with hummus. They go great with your cheese plates, if you like doing cheese boards or cheese plates. And here we go. I'm going to throw this directly in the oven, and I'm going to toast that up to be my snacky snack. The Jarlic is toasting nicely. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Looks like we've got a little toasty on the bottom. Okay, not burnt, just a little toasty, which is kind of what we're looking for. But I'd rather it go slowly. Pull that off halfway off the heat. Got our tray here, our neutral oil, and then we're just going to drizzle these, guys. You can toss them. You can toss them in a bowl with oil and your seasonings. I'm just going to drizzle these with a liberal coating of oil.
Drink
Thank you for the hydrate, my love. Left my water upstairs, so I gotta grab a new cup. Bear with me a second here, folks. Water. And we're going to hit these with a light coating of granulated garlic. It's almost like a garlic, little mini garlic bread. It's not quite. Little toast of garlic just across the top. And I'm going to use, once again, I got this great 5-pepper sea salt mix at the Olive Tree. I'm going to be doing more stuff with the Olive Tree soon. I'll be able to talk about it in about a week, guys, but I have been getting some products from them. And we're just going to hit these. A little bit of salt. A little bit of salt and pepper. Pepper's already mixed into this salt mixture. You can make your own. You can grab Szechuan peppercorns. You can grab black peppercorns, red peppercorns, tricolor pepper, however you like it. Okay. A little bit over the top there. This is going to go right in the oven. 350. We give it a little while. We'll give it about, let's say 10 minutes to start. Okay. We're going to check on our first experiment here, guys. Little bubbly, a little sticky here. Towels. Down. This is coming along interestingly. Get a good, slightly better look at this. 1 second, guys. Whoop. Let's drop the camera. So this has got some toasty color to it. It's getting there. I don't know if it's kind of confying the way I want it to and cooking through the way I want it to, but we're going to find out in just a second here. Back up there. Hey, what's going on? I'll move the camera cable over. Get you back on the table. Here we go. So if this is doing what I want to, I should be able to take this and just kind of mash it a little bit on this piece of bread. Taste it. It's coming along nicely. It needs more time. It's interesting because they use some sort of an acid as a preservative in the garlic, so it does have an acidic back end to it, but it is roasting. It's getting that sweetness to it. So it's going to be kind of a slightly different product, I think. We're going to keep that going. Make sure we're keeping an eye on it and wiping it down, and not wiping it down, but processing it. I'm going to go ahead and start grating some carrots. This is how I like my carrots for my stir fry and for my fried rice. I have my mandolin here. Just a Japanese mandolin. I got this for about $20 at my local Asian market. And it's got a little crosshatch blade you can see there. That gives us nice little matchstick shreds when you're done. Like that. So, just going through. Always pushing forward gently. Being very careful with our fingers and the palm of our hand. Gets down to about a stump. We're going to come back and grab the next carrot. Well, this is more carrot than I expected. So we're going to just stop right there. I did get, do I have peas? That's a good question. Do I have canned peas? Okay. Look here. Beans, green beans, beans. peas. Peas are kind of a Americanized thing to put in. Don't snooze that. Don't snooze that. Peas are kind of an American. Peas and carrots are kind of an American thing to put into fried rice. We're gonna go that kind of style of the style of fried rice. I like to get it in the restaurants back east. It's kind of a yang chow fried rice, kind of. We're gonna go ahead and take our ad break here, guys. We'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Go up, hydrate, stretch. Follow us on Discord. Follow us on YouTube. Suboptimal Cooking Show, episode 12. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back, folks. All right. So we are back here on the Suboptimal Cooking Show. We are going to get ready to do our fried rice with our most expensive ingredient on the planet right now, eggs. It's going to be an egg fried rice with veggies. Hate me if you want. I have stocked up on eggs because They are coming down, though, guys. The price of eggs is starting to come down. Oh, good. Yeah, I didn't think it was a $100 kettle, but I went ahead and opened up these peas. The peas are, well, they're suboptimal, folks. They're a little navy green there. They're not as bright as I'd like them to be. We're going to take these and put them in a bowl, and I'm going to soak them in a little seasoning, I think. Nightshade, what's up? All right, we're gonna get some seasoning onto these so that we can I'm gonna season them, but I'm not gonna cook them. They're already pretty cooked, so we're gonna throw these in right near the end of our fried rice. Put a little soy sauce on them. Get a little gouging wine there as well. May not be traditional, but I'm not a traditional Asian, so. All right, got a little smoke in the kitchen, guys. Coming from the stove, the oil packet, the packet of garlic popped open and was dripping on the coil. So I just wanted to throw something on that. Our Crostinis timer just went off. Check on those. Bread for me. These need more time. I usually do them at a higher heat. I'm keeping the oven at 350 today, though, because we're doing stuff in there today. We're going to be baking cookies there a little bit later. Yeah, it is interesting. Peas and carrots fried rice time. That's right. Again, not everybody puts peas and carrots in their fried rice. So we're gonna get going. Get some eggs out. Start heating up my saute pan, and I am doing this in a saute pan. I have a wok, but not everybody has a wok, so we're doing this suboptimal way. I'm gonna go expensive. I'm gonna do $1.50 in eggs. So we're gonna do 3 eggs. I want this kind of be nice. Yeah, the peas and carrots and fried rice seem to be an East Coast thing. Yeah, big money. The East Coast tends to have more of a yang chow fried rice style, which does use those vegetables in it. Our garlic here is cooking down really nicely. It's almost done, I think. So we're going to mix up the... yes, I do use chopsticks to mix the eggs. We're going to add a little bit, just a dash, of soy sauce to the eggs. And then I have... here on the counter, guys, I have garlic and ginger paste. Get these at Aldi. These are great alternatives to doing your own. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're good. The ginger paste in particular is a great way to just keep ginger in the house. I'm going to put a little bit of the garlic paste in. A little bit of the ginger paste in, and then we're going to use more of the ginger and garlic when we go to fry the rice. This is just pure, pretty much pure, stable ginger. Okay. This is going to move fast. Let me make sure I've got everything. Peas, carrots, eggs, rice. We're not doing any other protein in here today. We're doing a veggie and egg fried rice. I got my soy sauce. I want that near the counter. I got my garlic and ginger paste. I want that near the counter over here. You're funny. Onion. I wanted to put onion in my fried rice. That's the other thing I wanted. I knew there was something else I needed. Got my knife out. And we're going to do our fine onion. So we're going to strip the first layer off that. That's going to go in our... All of this is going to go in our veggie stock scraps we've been keeping. The onion skins don't have to. But the first layer of onion we do. We want that. I want finely cut onion on this one, guys. So I'm going to sit it up. I'm down from the top. 1, 2. Don't cut all the way through. 3. Bring it over. Lay it down. Straight down. And then straight across. Half an onion should be enough for the amount of fried rice we're making here, guys. So, take our egg over. Grab a wooden spoon. Pan's nice and hot. Oil in the pan. A lot of oil in the pan. Eggs in the pan. Stir, mix them up. We want those to bubble a little bit. Not the way I normally make scrambled eggs. It's the way we're doing. It's the way we're going to do our fried rice. I'm going to turn off that garlic because it is looking like it's pretty much done. It's gotten nice and dark and looks pretty nice, actually. See how that goes in just a little bit. Eggs. I'm going to go right into the pan or the bowl with the on the counter with the peas in it. Back on. A little more oil. Carrots in next. They take longer than the onions do. Again, at this point, we want a little bit of garlic, a little bit of ginger. Grab the wrong garlic. Grab the closed one. So I use neutral oil night, and I finish with sesame oil if I have it. I don't have sesame oil right now. So what I'm gonna show you a little walk around for that. You'll pardon the pun. Or don't, I don't care. Now you really want this kind of ripping hot for this, guys, so it's not quite as hot as I want it. Traditionally, if you're going through a wok, You're going to be ripping hot, and it's going to go really, really quickly. Saute pan on the stove takes a little bit more time. Okay, pull that to the side. A little more oil. Onion. Smells divine here, guys. A lot of that is the garlic and the ginger in there. A little bit of soy sauce on this. Tablespoon or so. Mix that in. Help season our vegetables. And again, guys, this is not traditional fried rice. I'm not saying this is traditional fried rice. This is my fried rice I make at home because I don't have, it's a suboptimal fried rice. Okay, everything here is nice and soft. Going on top of the onions, peas, or sorry, the peas, the peas and the eggs. Okay. Next up, high as this gets, ripping hot. I'm going to get this ripping hot. Wipe out the pan a little bit. Doesn't burn before I'm ready for it. Water. Now, I've got I've got a lot of rice here. I'm going to use about half of this rice. This is day old, just the steamed rice we made last Wednesday, as a matter of fact. This is multiple day old rice. I'm going to take a bunch of this rice out. Have a good one, Nightshade. Getting there. It's almost hot enough. I want that hotter than you should normally take a non-stick pan. I'm going to break up this rice a little bit. It's okay to use your fingers a little bit. It's about to hit really hot temperatures and get reheated really well. I mean, you're right in a lot of ways. Arch, it's a very good way to use up vegetables and protein, and just it's a good go-to meal. Excess rice, leftover ingredients. All right, so oil, ginger, garlic, tahini. This is going to be our substitute for our sesame oil. Starts to brown up a little bit. In with the rice. Let it fry, guys. Uncle Roger would not be proud of me, but I understand. This is not, I'm not Asian. Doesn't need to be. Don't need to be. But I'm also not a famous chef. I say this all tongue-in-cheek, guys. Break up the clumps of rice. Yeah, sorry about that, Kitty. I didn't have time before stream to get that evened out. I'll get that taken care of after stream. Now, you'll notice that this already has a lot of that fried color you look for in fried rice. That's from the browning of those ingredients. That's from the browning of that other rice in the pan. A little bit of soy sauce. Just a little bit. Again, as I understand it, this is more of a yang chow style. A little suboptimal, getting the rice all over the place a little bit. Okay. Just about done. Here we come with all of our other stuff. Make sure this dries out nicely. A little bit soggy in the bottom here. I don't want it soggy. I want soggy rice. Again, these look a little sad. Okay. Alrighty. Give it a taste before we finish it. Pretty good. A little soggier than I'd like it to be, but again, suboptimal. Work with what we got. Pretty looking though. I'm gonna hit with just a little bit of MSG. Little MSG over the top. There's some in the soy sauce, but just a little bit gives it a little boost. I should say there's some naturally occurring in the soy sauce, not that they add it. Okay. Here, woo, making a lot of noise. Get this off the burner. And again, guys, I wash my hands all the time. I wash my hands constantly. There you go, guys. There is our suboptimal egg fried rice. Right there. Steam coming off it. Looks good. Give it a taste right out of the pan. I want to keep that looking nice so I can have a nice little lunch here. That's good. That's real nice. All right, guys. Our crostinis are done. I forgot to put a second timer on them suboptimally, but they're doing okay. Probably they're rolling at 350. All right. Yeah, they're beautiful. All right. 1 second here, guys. Let me get all my scraps put into my a baggie in the freezer. Okay. Clean up. And while we clean up, guys, we're just gonna chat a little bit before we move on to our next and final dish of the day, which is going to be our chocolate chip cookies. Brown butter chocolate chip cookies, specifically. Talk about a little bit about what brown butter is. Brown butter is a product you get when you take butter, stick it in a pan, melt it down, and let the butter solids cook in the clarified butter and toast up. It flavors your butter with a kind of a nutty, a certain nuttiness, you know, like me. But it gives them a nice toastiness to them that really shines in functions like cookies, and it works well. Brown butter. I like brown butter green beans. Brown butter, a lot of other things. Grab a sip of water here. Good. Okay. Grab our hummus back out. Make a nice little display piece for the hummus. So many black containers that I haven't written things on. I don't remember where everything went. hummus on the plate. Yeah, garlic and brown butter cream sauce, garlic and brown butter fish in general. Good olive oil. Good olive oil on this. This is going to be a little interesting. This is a blood orange olive oil. I'm putting a little extra olive oil on this when I plate it up. Throw a little bit more salt and pepper on top. Just a touch. And then we've got our experiment here. Experiment 626. No. Experiment Jarlic. This is kind of toasted, fairly dark, but not burnt. Not burnt. It's been over an hour, so let's check on the other Jarlic experiment as well. It's kind of leaking out. Smoky in my eyes here. This is doing. This is, I don't know if this is doing anything. I mean, it's really mashing. Again, it's got that sharpness. Not acidic sharpness. Let me look at this jar of garlic. Garlic water and citric acid, that's why. Citric acid will do that. No, you can use blood orange and a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, for dinner the other night for my parents, we cooked salmon. We cooked a side of salmon in the blood orange olive oil, and it's really good. Let me grab a bit of my baguette here and try the stuff that's been in the oil a little more heavily. I mean, it spreads fairly nicely. It's roasty, it's roasty, and it's kind of. My biggest problem with this, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. It's sweet. It's roasty garlic, but it's got this acidity. It's got this citric acid acidity that doesn't do it really any favors, unfortunately. This would be good when mixed with something acidic. This might be good in the couscous salad that we made. Adding a little bit of this to the couscous salad. The oil, certainly. Or the oil on its own. I'm curious. But the oil has just taken on the garlickiness. It's got that rich, garlicky flavor. Doesn't have any citric acid to it. So, this might be a cheaper way to make garlic oil, if that's what you're looking for. I would highly recommend using it, straining it, maybe not keeping the garlic. The garlic is, again, kind of acidic, but not bad acidic. Spreads well. And it mashes It spreads and it mashes. Yeah, it's just the kind of steak you're not really looking for in roasted garlic. Let's try this. One second, guys. I'll try something. I'm certainly not going to throw it out. I will find a use for this. From hell or high water. I will say that the garlic paste you can get at Aldi that's shelf stable does not have that same acidity. Now, it is not roasted garlic paste. It is just kind of a raw garlic paste. But again, doesn't have the acidity. I did rinse it is the thing, Kitty. Maybe rinsing it some more might help with the acidity. I rinsed it very briefly and I squeezed a lot of the water out of it. Maybe a little bit more actively rinsing it might help. Something else to try. We're going to get this into the food processor here. The blender, I mean. I want to see if we can make this into a nicer paste. Now I want to keep the oil here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to waste not, want not. I'm going to rinse out one of the cans from the garbanzo beans earlier. I'm going to take my fine sieve strainer. I'm going to pour the oil right into my jar here. Okay, so I got the two kinds. The stuff on the stove certainly got darker than the stuff on the in the oven. I may have needed to let the oven stuff go longer. We're going to grab a little bit of regular salt. Salt it. And I'm going to put, this is going to seem blasphemous, I'm going to put a spoonful of sugar. See if a little tiny bit of sugar helps the acidity on this. Just like not even a teaspoon of sugar. Keep that out because I'm going to do that in a little bit. And let her rip. This is the other part of the experiment I wanted to say, is how well this blends up. Woohoo. Yeah, it's going to be really bitter. As I pull the power strip off of the counter. If you made it with hot water, it's going to be bitter. If you didn't make it with hot water, it's not going to be better. If you just let it sit like cold, it's fine. Alrighty, let's give it a shot here. Grab a nice crostini. Spoonful of... It pasted. It pasted nicely. Blended. It's not bad. It's still got that acidity that it just kind of... It's got the acidity, and I don't know what to do about it. I like it. I'm gonna use it. Not sure how. Use it. Maybe a little bit of butter would help. It would add richness, but I don't think it would get rid of that acidity. Drain my room temperature coffee. Okay, guys. So in case you didn't get the chance to see it, here is the prepared beet hummus. Really, really pretty. Tastes great. Fried rice. Looking good. Make our next product, shall we? Okay. I'm gonna make a good sized batch of cookies. This is going to be a 4-egg batch of cookies. Bear with me. I will put this as a 2-egg recipe. I can do eggless cookies. There are egg substitutes out there. Matter of fact, the New York Times actually, I didn't get a chance to read it, but did just do an article on, hey, eggs are expensive. Here's a list of egg substitutes. So base would help cut one little baking. I am not going to do this suboptimally for the most part, just because I don't have the arm strength today to hand beat my butter. Okay. Mixer plugged in. Okay. First thing we're going to do is move our crostinis and our fried rice pan on the stove. So, 2 sticks of butter. This is unsalted butter. When I'm baking, I try and use unsalted butter. That way I can better control my my salt content. Other 2 sticks of butter are going to go in this front pan here on the stove. Teach you guys how to make some brown butter. Now you can do this, a couple ways you can do this. You can do this low and slow, or you can do this hot and fast. You just gotta be very careful to watch it if you're doing it hot and fast. We're gonna go kind of medium heat on the small burner and get that going. Grab my wooden spoon. And I'm going to start my butter mixing on low. While the butter's mixing, we're going to grab our next ingredients. Pull up my note with my recipe here. Okay. We're doing what's essentially a double batch. This is a recipe that was used at one of the places I worked. I love this recipe. And people went nuts for these. These are so good, people went nuts for these. They did not do them as brown butter cookies though, I do. So this is kind of my adaptation on it. So we're taking a quarter of a pound or half a pound of butter, and we're going to melting it down. I'm going to blend up the other half a pound of butter just a little bit. So it's kind of ready to go. Get so it's for this recipe, it's going to be 1 1/3 cups of regular sugar, 1 1/3 cups of brown sugar, we're just keeping an eye on that butter. I refill my baking soda while we're doing this. Pack in that baking soda. Lid thing back in. Okay, butter is just about melted. We're going to turn up the heat, get it rolling, and then we'll turn the heat down again. All right, let's get our brown sugar measured out. So 1 1/3 cups. The brown sugar is a little dry. It'll be okay though, especially when we pour the brown butter in over the brown sugar. It'll melt down. Help cool it down. It'll help moisten it all. Pack that in there nicely. And here, butter. Starting to bubble and boil. Now, some people don't like Aldi butter because it has a certain level of excess water in it. I've been able to work with it. It may not be perfect, but we are the Optimal Cooking Show. We get what's best prices. Okay, that's the regular, that's the brown sugar rather. Get our white sugar. The part of the secret of this recipe is it uses both brown and white sugars to help you achieve a better flavor. Got molasses in there. While we're going, I'm gonna keep measuring ingredients out. Got that butter sizzling behind us. Just keep an eye on it. You're looking for it to kind of boil off. I'm actually going to throw a third stick in, and then we're going to measure it back to a half pound. A little extra brown butter isn't going to hurt me. It's going to hurt us. But I would rather have more and not need it, all of it, than need it and not have it. We need that this to be a half pound of butter for it to be the right quantity to make the cookies. We're going to throw a third stick of butter in, and then when this is done browning, we're going to use our kitchen scale and measure it. All-purpose flour. Lift it with the whisk, gently, or too well. Somebody showed me that trick and I didn't like it. I tried it, or I wanted to try it, and I don't like it. 1, 2, 3, I'm making a mess because this is full. 4. I'm going to do 4 cups of flour, and we may need to add a little bit more based on how the texture goes. The base recipe calls for 13 cups of flour. Okay, we are really rolling now on the butter. The original recipe is 3 pounds of butter to 13 cups of flour. I have a half pound of butter, 2.5 cups of flour, which is not quite right. I'm going to go with 4 cups of flour, and that should be correct. I need to revise this recipe. We'll see. I was having problems with these cookies the last time I made them. Thinking about it. Start blending we're going to start blending the butter and sugar here. See, the butter is bubbling, clarifying. Grab our scale out while we're waiting. Change it over to ounces. And I'll put molar one on. Clear my scale so it's weighs what I need it to. I'm also going to take a small amount of, I'm going to make a little bit of a ice water bath while we're waiting. Because we are going to cool the brown butter before we put it in with everything else. Piping hot brown butter is not going to do it. Okay. You can see it. We do want to give this a little bit of a shake and a little bit of a swirl just to make sure that nothing's completely sticking to the bottom of the pan, guys. If it's sticking to the bottom of the pan, you're going to end up with burnt butter, not brown butter. Yay, nice catch. I'm going to be using a combination of chocolate chips today, guys. I got some dark chocolate chips and I got some minis. Yeah, 5 minutes ads. All right. Go ahead and snooze my ads one time for me, Joy. Give us 10 minutes, please. And we are almost at our brown butter. You can see in the bottom of the pan, see those brown bits down there? Good. What we want. It's almost brown. You can tell by the smell that it's almost browned. Very, very fine bubbles on this. You can see the small bubbles. Grab a little bit of a spoon here. We're going to check it. We're going to move it. Scrape a little bit. Yep. Okay. I'm going to come in here. It's almost done. I'm going to scrape the bits off the bottom because I want those bits. I want that brown butter goodness. I'm going to get in there with a wooden paddle to get those up. Yeah, this is done. It's not quite burnt, but it's kind of close to burnt. Okay. A little smoky, that's okay. This is perfect. This is perfect brown butter. It smells so good. All right, get our scale back on again. Half pound, 8 ounces. I'm going to go a little above 8 ounces. It's fine. It's going to be 9 ounces. But again, we put that third stick of butter in there and we're only at 9 ounces. So we lost out of 3 sticks of butter, 12 ounces. We lost 3 ounces of weight right into here. So, put that into the ice bath a little bit. Stir. We're going to let this cool to about room temperature. I need a bigger bowl for this. It's not working out the way I want it. Excuse me, guys. Working suboptimally again. One second, guys. Metal bowl. Floats a little bit better. Go. Get all those little brown bits, and you can see the color, guys, of this brown butter is indeed brown. See that? Clarified butter is just kind of that clear color, or that, yellowish. This is absolutely what we're looking for, browned butter. Up a bit. Wonderful. Now, I don't want to melt all the butter. I want to be able to, yeah, there you go. Right, you can make this and freeze it, absolutely. We're gonna kind of get this down to like room temperature, maybe a little below. You can see that the bubbles have kind of dissipated. This is a little bit more of a labor-intense, labor of love recipe. About 90 degrees right now, based on the way it felt on my finger. Okay. Perfect. A little over room temperature, okay? Start creaming our butter and sugar. We're going to add this in slowly. Okay, that's in. Go ahead and hit the other 2 snoozes. We're going to snooze, and what will happen is I'll get this done, and then I will get them in the oven while we're on break. Okay. I'm going to crack my 4 eggs into my brown butter bowl, because waste not, want not. And you can see that this has gotten light and airy. Exactly what we're looking for. Got an eggshell in there that's not coming out. Come on, you. Getting stubborn. Got it. One egg at a time. One, let it mix. This small batch, we let it mix. One, two. Don't want to break it. This is an emulsion, guys. You don't want it. You don't want to break your emulsion. 3. And I'm going to beat this last egg with a bit of this butter. Try and get it all off the sides here. And 4. Okay. Now, I'm a dummy, and I often forget to put my salt, my baking soda in. So I don't want to do that. We're not going to be a dummy today. So, that looks gorgeous, by the way. This looks absolutely perfect. So it is 2 teaspoons of baking soda. I'm going to put that into the flour. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 2 teaspoons of salt. And we don't use kosher salt for this. We use regular iodized salt as it dissolves and mixes in better. One. 2. Recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That's going to go into here. That's in there. We mix that in. Okay. Take our whisk we were using earlier. We're going to whisk the salt and baking soda into the flour. This is going to aerate. This is kind of like sifting. Not going to get any lumps out, but it's going to incorporate our baking soda and salt. Okay. A big spoon. Spoonfuls of flour. Low. We do this on low. Just so this all gets mixed in. And pulse it a little bit. Super low. You're gonna make a little bit of a mess. It happens, but low so you don't just blow it all over your kitchen. And when you can, get in there, pull some of that butter and stuff off of the paddle. Now, I'm going to add the rest of the flour in. Pulse it until it's mixed. You don't want to overmix these. The less you mix these, the lighter they're going to be, the fluffier they're going to be. I'm going to give it a good fast pulse for a few seconds. Time for our chocolate chips. Now we want 2.5 cups of chocolate chips. I'm going to be using a mixture of chocolate chips here. I've got mini chips, and dark chips. So these are semi-sweet mini chips and larger size dark chips. So that's about a cup of mini chips, what I had left. So those are some big chips. So one, we're gonna go two. I need a half cup more chips because I like them chalky, and I have some classic Toll House semi-sweets in them. Could do butterscotch. Could do butterscotch. Don't want to do butterscotch. So we're now going to have 3 different sizes of chalky chips. Half a couple of those. These we go in kind of all at once. And then just till it's mixed. And go take it up to high for a second. Let them really integrate. That's it. We are done. I'm going to go curl up with this bowl. No, I'm kidding. Do not eat this raw, folks. Do not eat this raw. Bad for you. Raw flour is not good for you. I know everybody would eat this raw. Don't do it. It's tempting, but don't do it. Got raw eggs in it. It's got raw flour in it. Toast the eggs, leave out the flour, you get something complete, that's a whole nother thing. We'll have to do some edible chocolate chip cookie dough on here one day. Egg beaters are still eggs. They're just mainly egg whites with other ingredients to make them kind of lighter. But okay. All right, folks. We are at that point. I'm going to show off the scooping process real quick, and then we're going to go to commercial here. Ugh. Another heat pan here. Put the scale away. Turn the scale off. I need more sheet pans, I think, at some point. More sheet pans, real half-size sheet pans, and better parchment. All right. Now I have cookie scoops here. I will highly recommend using cookie scoops. They're not expensive. Let's get, what size do we want? What's a super small? Give my medium. I don't want the big one. I don't want the small one. I want the medium. Now we'll go big. Forget it. We'll go big. This is a 3 tablespoons. This is going to be a 3 tablespoon scoop. And I highly recommend scooping these out. If you're going to freeze them freeze them scooped, guys. They're going to be so much easier to scoop when the dough is fresh. You don't want to be trying to scoop hard dough. It's just... It's just not a pleasant experience trying to scoop hard dough. So we're going to get about a dozen of these on the pan. All right, guys, dozen on a pan. It is time for break. When we come back, we will talk about what we're going to be doing the rest of the week a little bit, and we're going to show off the cookies because I'll leave you hanging on a lot of stuff. I ain't going to leave you hanging on some chocolate chip and brown butter chocolate chip cookies. So hang out, get some water, stretch. Suboptimal will be right back. Welcome back, folks. It's funny, I was going to be like, no, we're fine, we're finishing up for the day. I don't need to change the battery on the main camera. Then I forgot that we'd already gone long on it, and I heard, oh, shut down. I changed the battery. 30 seconds left to for the first turn. I'm going to start scooping cookies here. Show you guys how I prep this for freezer storage. We're just going to kind of lay these nice and tight together. We're not going to bake them like this. You can bake them in a sheet. You get a big cookie sheet, but no, we're not what we're doing here. We're just going to lay them next to each other. We're going to freeze the whole pan. And then we have chocolate chip cookies in about 12 minutes. When you're baking them from fresh, they're about 5. It's about 5 minutes turn, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's about 12 to 13 minutes total when you're doing them from frozen. These are getting all melty, gooey, and nice. It's always good to keep extra chocolate chips on hand, just in case you hit the bottom of scooping your chocolate chip cookies. Like, one's at the bottom, don't have enough chocolate chips in them. Well, put some chocolate chips in there and you're good. So any questions about brown butter, any questions about cookies, fried rice, hummus, crostinis, any questions in general? We get some good questions during Q&A time, and sometimes it leads to us doing other things. And this does make a good amount of cookies. This 1 pound batch of 1 pound of butter batch makes at least 3 to 4 dozen of a 3 ounce, 3 tablespoon cookie, and I just lost some dough. Gotta get that before the dog gets it. Wash my hands real quick because I touched the floor. You're impatient? That's what I thought you'd say? Oh, with the brown butter? Are you just impatient making the brown butter? Yeah. The other big thing about brown butter, guys, is right near the end it goes quick. You're like, not brown, it's not brown, it's not brown, it's not brown. Oh God, it's burnt. You got to be careful with it. You know, if you're not confident, once you get the butter melted and it's bubbling, turn your heat down. Let it go slowly. It's okay. Nothing wrong with letting it go a little slower. Your attention spans all. Then crank it to high heat. Keep an eye on it, and just watch it. Like, you can do it on high heat. You can do it that way. It's not the safest method. I'm not even going to call it suboptimal. I'm just going to say it's not the safest because, again, once it starts to turn into brown butter, it turns quickly. Nice catch, Erica. Out on the time. 35 seconds before we check them again. They may need a little longer because they're slightly bigger. What you're looking for on these cookies, guys, is gently, you don't want them browned all the way across the top. You want them browned around the edges and my last cookie. Right on time. What do we get out of that? There's a dozen there. That's 2 dozen. 8, 3 dozen, 3.5 dozen. 3.5 dozen out of this batch of the 3 ounce, or the 3 tablespoon cookie size. These need to go. Ooh, they ran a little longer. Probably could have gone a little bit more flour in these. Okay. They are running together a little bit. Okay. Baking them from cold. Baking them will make them stay together a little bit more. These kind of flowed together a whole bunch. I gotta get these out to the garage. Give me 1 second, folks. I'll keep talking to you. We need to let the cookies go for about another minute, 2 minutes. Later this week, guys, we're going to be doing some chicken, I think. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff coming in. We're going to be doing some Indian food, making some sag paneer or palak paneer. Got some paneer cheese coming in from Imperfect Foods. What else we got? Joy, what else we got if you're not in the meeting? What else do we have on that menu? We're gonna be doing some biscuits and gravy with a vegetarian gravy made with Impossible sausage. We're gonna give that a shot. Lots of veggies. Got a lot of veggie dishes coming up this week. Yeah, we got some bread coming in. I don't know what we're going to be doing with it, but we got some bread coming in from one of my old instructors' companies called Bread Alone. Dan Leader was one of my instructors, and he created the company Bread Alone. We're going to be doing some. So that's right. We're going to be doing some polenta cakes as well. And so there's Bread Alone, the bread making book. Dan Leader, great guy, real nice guy. Cookies are done. They ran a little bit, made them a little big. They're good. So like I said, let's burn the counter. Right there. Nice and brown around the edges, kind of pale in the center still. Looking really good. Maybe let those go a little bit longer than I should have. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move that, and I'm going to put them on the counter to cool. Top the oven off. And again, we're suboptimal here, guys. Again, I probably could have adjusted the flour a little bit. I like them kind of softer, on the softer side, not the crunchier side. So these are pretty much perfect, honestly, for me. Would I sell these in the store? Maybe. You'd be surprised. People like them. But yeah, guys, that's about where we're at for the day. Let's take a look and see who we're gonna run into here. Any questions? Anything further before we head on out? Crunchy Edge Soft Center Girly. Yeah, I mean, and these are gonna have crunchy edges. I will make a promise there that we're gonna get some good crunchy edges on this. So yeah, that's it for today, guys. Let's see who we're going to. Oh. We're gonna take over to 16-bit Eric, guys. He's a great guy, and I want a copy of some really cool GM software called Amstel Suite. He may talk about it if we go over there. Hope you guys have had a good one. Really, really hope you have, and we'll be back on Wednesday with more Suboptimal Cooking Show. Have a good one, guys.